Well, earlier today, Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. settled a civil sex abuse case where a woman accused him of rape a decade ago.
That's right. The settlement came earlier today, just moments before jury selection was set to get underway. Fox 5's Lisa Evers has the details.
Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. maintained from the very beginning that any sex that happened between him and the accuser was consensual. But the accuser maintained she was raped in a Manhattan hotel room about a decade ago. Jury selection in the federal civil suit was scheduled for Tuesday morning, but was abruptly stopped once court papers were filed saying a settlement had been reached.
That's a common phenomenon in these types of litigation. Oftentimes, they end up going right until the very day the jury selection is about to begin. In this case in particular, it's interesting because the alleged victim had not identified herself. She was a Jane Doe.
The accuser, who is represented by women's rights advocacy attorney Gloria Allred, was seeking $6 million in damages from the actor. Specifics of the final settlement are still not clear.
I think that both parties try and sort of push the envelope in order to reduce the amount of settlement, but neither party, I think, wanted to go to trial.
Last year, in a separate New York State criminal case, Gooding pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge stemming from allegations that he forcibly kissed a nightclub worker in 2018. He was spared jail time and later allowed to plead guilty to a non-criminal harassment violation, eliminating a criminal conviction.
I obviously, wish the best for everyone. So, hopefully this closes a chapter for Mr. Gooding. But we should keep in mind that there were 3 women that were expected to testify during Mr. Gooding's trial.
The federal judge had planned to allow other accusers to testify in court, and the accuser would have had to publicly identify herself, factors that may have played a role in the decision to settle. In Lower Manhattan,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Donna Just Being Real. My channel is all about dating, love, relationships, and toxic relationship advice channel. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Cuban, excuse me, we're going to talk about Cuban Gooding Jr. Let's get into his ass. Oop, excuse me. No cursing, no cursing. And I see you, Francine, up in here. Hugs and kisses to you, and good morning on your end. All right, so I'm going to read this article. And then I'm going to also play the victim, which the victim have to say. All right, there's a lot of things about this Cuban guy I didn't know about. So this morning on Clubhouse, Jack was doing some commentary. He touched on this Cuban Gooding guy. We talked a little bit about him. So yeah, I'm going to get into him right now. He's a piece of work. Yes, he is. Now, what you do is make sure you like the video, share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, and also subscribe to my channel if you're into the kind of commentary, because I talk about all things relationships, and I use trials, I use news articles, different things to help people to date smart and not thirsty. All right, so we're going to get into this fool right here. Yeah, I'm calling him a fool. And this is the victim. And this is supposed to be where this alleged thing happened, the R thing happened at this hotel. Oh, there was another picture I was supposed to show you. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have it up here. I don't have it up here. I really don't. Okay, let's get into this article. Okay, this article that I have here. Let me turn down the music just a little bit to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. All right, now this article that I have here. What article do I have? It's USA Today. And this came out June 6, 2023. Cuba Gooding Jr. settles civil R case avoiding New York trial. All right, let's see what's going on. Just as the trial was to begin, it was revealed Tuesday that Cuba Gooding Jr. has settled with his accuser, who alleged that he are heard in a New York City hotel a decade ago. According to the court records, the actor had insisted through lawyers that his encounter with the woman was consensual after the two met at a nearby restaurant. The trial was scheduled to begin Tuesday. Oh, hold it just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me fix something here. Oh, come on. Why is this thing gotta be so fooey foo? Not now. Okay. No, I don't think that was the right one. Okay. I have to have music, so it is what it is. All right. Now let me get back to this article. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. All right, where was I at? The trial was scheduled to begin Tuesday with the jury selection as a woman alleged that the Jerry Maguire star met her in a New York City restaurant, persuaded her to join him at his hotel, and convinced her to stop at the room to change clothing. The Jane Doe accuser, who the judge, Paul A. Corti, something like that, I can't really pronounce the name, ruled would have to reveal her name at the trial, said that her lawsuit that Gooding raped her in his room. His lawyers, though, insisted that it was consensual. Okay. Consensual sex, and that she bragged afterwards to others that she had sex with a celebrity. The lawsuit sourced at $6 million in damages. Attorney Gloria Allred, she's a pit bull, one of the several representing of the women, declined comments. Here are the details about the case that led up to the settlement. Why was Cuba Gooding Jr. going to court? The actor was accused of R in a lawsuit brought forward by the woman whose lawyer said that she was entitled to $2 million to compulsory damages and $4 million in punitive damages for the significant emotional distress she suffered after meeting Gooding. The introduction of the accuser, Jane Doe, occurred in August 2013 when she met the actor in the VIP lounge of a restaurant in Greenwich Village section of Manhattan and agreed to join him with a friend of hers at a nearby hotel, according to the court papers. But once at the hotel and before her friend arrived, Jane Doe was encouraged to proceed to Gooding's hotel room so that the actor could change his clothing and they could return downstairs to meet her friend, the court paper says. Excuse me. The lawsuit alleged that Gooding got violent in the room, pushing the woman onto the bed and forcibly R-ing her while ignoring her pleas for him to stop. You hear this? Okay. Who was expected to testify in Cuba Gooding Jr.'s civil R trial? Prior to the trial, the judge ruled that he would let 3 women testify during the Gooding trial. So 3 women was going to testify. Okay. The women were expected to say on the stand that they also were subject to the sudden SA or attempted SA after meeting Gooding in a social setting such as a festival, bar, nightclubs, and restaurants. Authorities said that Gooding has been accused of committing sexual misconduct against more than 30 other women. Do you hear this, ladies and gentlemen? 30 other women. Including groping, unwanted kissing, and other inappropriate behaviors. One of the women who was planning to testify at the trial is Kelsey Harbert, who told the police Gooding fondled her without her consent at a Magic Hour rooftop bar and lounge near Times Square in 2019. Well, this man is a piece of work here. Okay. Kelsey Harbert, I believe it was Kelsey Harbert, said that last year, after Gooding pleaded guilty in the New York State court to charges that spared him from jail or criminal history, that never's getting her day in court was more disappointing than words can say. What has Gooding said about the incident? Yeah, let's hear what he had to say about the incident. The actor and his legal team have denied all accusations of R, saying that saying that the two had consensual sex in the hotel. Now, let me just show you a picture. This is supposed to be the hotel. Okay. Where am I at? All right, here we go. In February, Gooding's lawyer said that the defense at the trial would push against the plaintiff's allegations by relying in part on testimony by 2 former owners of the restaurant where she met Gooding, who will say that she returned late that evening to boast that she had sex with a celebrity. Okay. Outside court, Becker and another defense attorney, Edward Vincent Sapone, something like that, said that the third witness, a former female bartender at the restaurant, could also testify about the woman's return to the restaurant and what she said. Okay, so you have, what he's basically saying is, there's some witnesses saying that she came back to the bar or whatever, and she's bragging about having sex with a celebrity. But you got 30 women out here saying that he's basically a creep. Make sure you share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Let me know, what do you think? Excuse me. What other legal troubles has Cuba Gooding Jr. faced? The Oscar-winning actor pleaded guilty in April 2022 to a misdemeanor, admitting he forcibly kissed a worker at a New York nightclub in 2018. The guilty plea allows Gooding to escape jail time after courts said that he complied with the terms of conditional agreements that saw him plead to charges involving just one of what prosecutors have said were allegations from at least 30 women, many at New York City night spots. All right. By staying out of trouble and completing 6 months of alcohol and behavioral counseling, Gooding was permitted to withdraw his guilty plea and plead guilty to a non-criminal harassment violation, eliminating his criminal record and preventing further penalties. This man is a piece of work. All right, Gooding was arrested in 2019 among profusion of Hollywood's heavyweights accused of wrongdoing during the Me Too movement. All right, so that's the end of that article there. I don't know. What do y'all think? And I'm getting ready to play the accuser. We're gonna hear what she had to say because she had a press conference. But 30 women, Cuban? You got 30 women out here saying this about you? What is up with you? All right, let me switch over to this other one. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, what is up with this man? All right, we're gonna hear what the victim has to say. All right. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it.
This is breaking news.
Happening right now, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s alleged victim, Kelsey Harbord, and her attorney, Gloria Allred, are holding a press conference outside the courthouse on Center Street.
I've waited 3 years for the opportunity to speak about the injustice of Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba, my apologies. I had hoped to do so in the context of a trial in which he would be held accountable for the irreparable damage he did to me one summer night in 2019. Today I was robbed of that chance by a plea deal that never should have been considered. But I am glad to be able to say to you what I couldn't say in court. For those of you who may not know, Cuba Gooding Jr. forcibly grabbed, squeezed, and fondled my breast within the first 10 seconds of meeting me at the Magic Hour Club in Manhattan. I reported him that night, and he was arrested 3 days later. After that, in addition to the problems I dealt with inside the system, I had to endure 3 years of humiliation from his team. Cuba made a statement attacking my mental health in the press, claiming I had a warped mental state. His team then filed a motion with the court to question me about my breast size on the stand, claiming that insecurity around my breast size might have led me to believe I was sexually assaulted. Early on, the system began making special accommodations for him. Every time I questioned why he was receiving VIP treatment, I was given the same answer. because of who he is. At first, I was told he would be in a sex offenders program, one which has a reputation for being very firm with offenders. Second, I was told he would also be completing a separate alcohol abuse program. But because of who he is, he was allowed to trade both programs for time with his personal therapist. Because of who he is, he was allowed to call this informal therapy alcohol and behavior modification treatment. Because of who he is, he has been able to retract his guilty plea 6 months later to erase his criminal record. According to Cuba's lawyer, Mr. Rothman, the defense reached out to District Attorney Alvin Bragg personally to cut this deal for Cuba. And this is the same Alvin Bragg who campaigned on ending special treatment for celebrities accused of a crime. As a victim for whom charges have been filed, each concession was deeply offensive to me. But the one thing I was promised in the end was an apology in court for what he did to me, and for the opportunity to tell my side in a victim impact statement, since I wouldn't get my day in court. When it came time to make that apology, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s exact words were, "I'm sorry if I made anyone feel inappropriately touched." I didn't just feel inappropriately touched. I was inappropriately touched. Then, when I was giving my victim impact statement, his lawyer interrupted me and stated, "But what she said happened here for the last 20 minutes is a product of her imagination in large part, Judge." This statement by Mr. Gooding's attorney was false and undermined the terms of the deal Mr. Gooding made, and robbed me of what should have been a safe space to express the toll that being sexually assaulted had taken on me. Over 30 other women have come forward since I first reported what Mr. Gooding did to me. To date, Cuba Gooding Jr. has been accused of forcibly touching, penetrating, licking, choking, and, in a civil lawsuit, raping a woman. At what point are we going to take this seriously? When will we decide that this is dangerous behavior? And when is it the court's responsibility to protect the public from someone like him? The system is supposed to be about what he did, not who he is. And because of what he did, I have to worry about a guy's intentions when he talks to me on the bus. I have to worry about where a guy's hands are when he squeezes past me in the supermarket. I have to be worried about riding in the elevator alone with a man because there's nothing shielding me from something going wrong. Despite the harm to me, Cuba Gooding Jr. walks away from the court a free man without a record. It's like it never happened. But can the same thing be said for the women he did this to? Is it like it never happened to me? His actions tug at my sense of peace every single day. And that's compounded by the fact that this type of behavior seems to be tolerated in society. This is the grab them by the pussy culture we live in, where men like Cuba Gooding Jr. are a symptom of generations of discounting the irreparable harm of forcibly touching women without their consent. Where forcible touching isn't taken seriously, where women can be treated like a party favor. Then, if they speak out, proponents of that culture frame them as tattletales trying to ruin the fun in the club. And there's an unmistakable tone, an unspoken question, is that all he did? In my case, everything went right. I had video evidence and eyewitnesses, and still that wasn't enough. What does that mean for the next girl he does this to?
She says she has video evidence. Make sure everybody vote. I'd like to know, what is your thoughts? All right, let's resume.
What if she doesn't have video? What if she's not in a bar full of people? In Cuba's case, they've even erased his criminal record. He's back to being a public figure with no priors. So that next woman might have it harder than I do. What bothers me too is that it's not just because of who he is in New York City. I was told by prosecutors that in addition to the 30 women that came forward in New York City, there were a number of other women that reported it to the DA in Los Angeles and other states. But the Los Angeles DA has declined to look into it. Where is the protection for women if this happens again? What system is supposed to take care of us? The message he got today is that because of who he is, the rules are different for him. And because, and according to those rules, there's nothing to stop him from continuing this allegedly decades-long pattern of behavior if he decides to forcibly touch a woman again without her consent. I want him to be accountable for the consequences of his actions. But because of who he is, I am the one who will have to live with those consequences. We may never know why Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg agreed to this deal. But I can't help but wonder if the answer to that question is the same one I've been given these past 3 years. Because of who he is. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that there were, okay, well, I'm not sure, reportedly a number of them. I don't want to make a guess. I know that because, as I said, I myself accompanied some of them to law enforcement. And anybody I took there was willing to testify, if needed.
The prosecutor's office said that many times to me. Many, many times to me.
For those who can't hear the question is, who said to you because of who he is? And that was her answer.
Yes, so the prosecutor's office over the last 3 years.
And how did you feel about that? The question is, how does she feel about that?
On the one hand, it's gross, it's disgusting, and it pissed me off. Sorry, made me angry, very, very angry. And I felt like, especially as we got further into the process, and I put in more and more and more over 3 years to try to help bring him to justice, and I was still told that. And I got more and more offended and just felt like betrayed, because at a certain point, these are people you're working with who are helping you along this, journey. They're supposed to be trying to do what's right. And so when they said that, it was just a slap in the face, and I have no reply to that, because to me, he is I I can't say. To me, he's not worth what they gave him. I'll say that.
Any other questions? The civil, okay, by the way, I just began to represent Kelsey after this hearing, and we are, going to advise Kelsey of her civil options, and because there's a civil system of justice, and if she wished to have access to it, she could.
So you guys are considering it, but it hasn't been filed yet?
Nothing is filed for her. Casey and I are representing Jane Doe in the lawsuit which we filed for Jane Doe. Which is being litigated in February. As Mr. Rothman will confirm, Mr. Gooding Jr.'s deposition has been taken in that case. Our client, Jane Doe, has also provided her deposition. Other depositions are taking place. There's no date for trial yet, but discovery closes soon, so, it may be that the trial is next year. We don't have a date yet. I do not know of any other pending civil cases against him. There may be, but I'm not aware of any. Excuse me?
Natasha Ashwood.
Oh, there is one other.
Yes,
It's settled.
Oh, okay, well, it's not pending then, right? It's resolved.
If there's a
Okay,
disposition. I'm not sure
okay,
if
well, we don't know of any that are pending. There may have been one that was settled. We don't know. I don't want to engage in speculation.
I just want to be clear, are you considering or planning a civil lawsuit on behalf of?
Well, that's something that Kelsey will, discuss with us, and then ultimately we'll see what her decision is. But that's not something that we're going to decide today.
Sure.
Ms. Donna, you mentioned the 5th anniversary of the Me Too
Yes.
articles about Harvey Weinstein. I wanted to ask you, given what we've seen lately, the Bill Cosby conviction being overturned, what happened today with Cuba Gooding Jr., the New York State Court of Appeals taking up an appeal from Mr. Weinstein, do you feel like progress that's been made is sort of unraveling? How do you assess things from then and now?
Question is, how do I assess the Me Too movement, given that Mr. Cosby's conviction in Pennsylvania was vacated, and given what happened here today with the plea deal for Mr. Cuba Gooding Jr. Well, let me just say one thing, which is in reference to Bill Cosby, because I represented 33 victims of Bill Cosby. But I did represent one in a civil lawsuit, Judy Huth. We went to trial in June in Santa Monica, and we won. Mr. Cosby was found liable for sexual battery of our client, Judy Huth, when she was 16 years old at the Playboy Mansion in Southern California. That was an allegation of child sexual abuse. The jury awarded our client $500,000. And she's very happy and grateful to the jury for that. So his spokesperson said that he thinks that's a victory. I don't know anybody who thinks it would be a victory to have as your legacy, and I'm sure in his obituary that a jury found him to be liable for child sexual abuse. Moving on to Harvey Weinstein. As you know, that case went to trial, and that was because of Cyrus Vance and the wonderful prosecutors that he had to try that case in this courthouse. And I represented the key prosecution witness in that case, Mimi Haley, who gives permission to use her name. Based on her testimony, he was convicted of criminal sexual assault and sentenced to 20 years. Based on the testimony of someone else that I did not represent, he was convicted of third-degree rape and sentenced to 3 years, for a total of 23. Yes, it's on appeal, New York Court of Appeals. We don't know what they'll do. It'll probably be heard next year for oral argument. Having said that, jury is now being selected in Los Angeles, and I represent 2 of the 5 alleged victims for whom charges have been filed against Mr. Weinstein and 1 Me Too witness, called 1101B witness in California. So my point is, victims are not going to be deterred. They're going to continue to be brave. They're going to continue to cooperate with law enforcement. They are going to continue to understand that they have civil options to file lawsuits. And even if the criminal justice system fails them, as it often does, sometimes for political motives, which will always be disguised as legal reasons, in any event, women's movement is alive and well and strong and living in this country and all throughout the world. It's all about empowerment. It's all about justice. And we're moving forward. But we're also going to call it out when justice is not being done. The question is, she believes that he got special treatment because, quote, because of who he is, end quote. And so the question is, who is he to Kelsey? Yeah. Who is he to Kelsey?
To me, he's somebody who is completely entitled and knows, he just doesn't understand no as a concept. And he what am I allowed to say?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but he is a nightmare, and he totally derailed my life. And yeah, thanks for asking.
Anything else?
So I know you're saying that you were told repeatedly who he is. Was there a deeper conversation, a more technical conversation? Because Mr. Gooding Jr.'s attorney before was talking about saying that charges were dropped because of lack of video evidence or something.
Okay, well, she's, okay, so, excuse me. If I'm recounting what you said correctly, you're saying that his attorney, Mr. Rothman, stated to the press that charges were dropped because what, lack of video evidence?
That's something with the video evidence and how it wasn't, they couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt what happened, you know.
Because of, you know, because they couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt what happened. Well, I think they had sufficient evidence to go to trial. They had the video evidence for hers. I would like to show it to you, but I can't, but I have it. All right? And they could have shown it at trial. Plus, of course, whatever she or any person who is alleged to be a victim testifies to is evidence. And in addition, there were others who observed what happened to her. How much is needed to go to trial against anyone? Are they saying that they need more evidence beyond a reasonable doubt plus because he's a celebrity?
Yeah.
You know, courage is needed for victims, but it's needed for district attorneys too. And often prosecutors, they don't want to fail in a high-profile case. I get that, but that's not a reason to go for not to go forward. They, you know, that's it. We'll take one more question, and then we have a.
Do you think it would have been different with Cyrus Vance?
Pardon me?
Do you think it would have been different with Cyrus Vance?
I don't know what Cyrus Vance would have done, but I can say this. Much of this evidence gathering was done under Cyrus Vance. And then suddenly, when Mr. Bragg is elected, this case goes bye-bye, goes away. I haven't spoken to Mr. Bragg. I don't need to, but I'm certainly available if he wants to speak to me. I mean, why? 3 years, countless hours for her and other victims to be interviewed. I had one client that flew all the way to New York from a distant place to be interviewed. By the way, the witness that I had, the Molyneux witness, was the one who filed a police report a long time ago in Santa Monica against Mr. Gooding Jr. She would have testified. So we have more questions than answers. And sometimes, as James Thurber said, the questions are more important than the answers. Thank you very much for coming. We're actually doing a Zoom with people who couldn't come today, and that's at noon. And it's in my office. Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of what I wanted to show you. I wanted to read the article, and that was the beginning, and I wanted to play that conference. I don't even know what to say. Seemed like to me he might be a creep, because due to the fact if you got 30 women, that's a lot of people. Now I was reading some of the comments. We have to be careful, ladies. You're going up to these men's hotel rooms like that. You have to be careful. But not saying, you deserve what happens to you. No, not at all. Now, it was something that was a comment here with Nail Gigi. She was a victim of SA? Is that what you're saying? Nail Gigi? That's why she comes hard when she was younger? What did you say here? Gloria Albert was our word when she was younger, and that's why she chooses these specific cases. Oh, okay. I didn't know much about her history. I just call her Pitbull. That's just it. And what Melvia said, he graduated from a small town high school and became a star / sex. Boy. It's just something else. It's just too many people. My thing is, when you have a lot of people saying the same thing, usually it's true. That's just my opinion on that one. Usually it's true. Okay, I think Nail Gigi said something. Yes, she went to law school after the person who are her and got away with it. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to look that up. That's very interesting. I didn't know that. So what happened to her and then she... Oh, wow. Okay. All right, thank you for sharing that one because I didn't know about that. All right, I see you up in here, Sue. But thank everybody for coming. Thank everybody for engaging. I just want to do this one real quick to put this out here about this because I didn't even know about this case. The last thing I've heard about with Cuba Gooding Jr. that he was some sort of rooftop bar that was in NYC, and that's some lady claimed that he was touching her or something like that. I think it was, but actually they showed the video and you would see that she was running around following him through the whole thing. So that's not the latest thing I've ever heard. But all this other stuff here is completely new to me. I didn't even know about this. And Lisa, I know Lisa, you in the chat, when I had told you about it, Lisa said you remember hearing about this. I did not even know. Oh well. You know what? It seemed like this dude got a problem. I knew there was something to it about how she pursues these cases. I understand. Oh, okay. Because I didn't know about this. Is something new. Yeah, make sure everybody hit the like and subscribe and share the video and check out some of my past commentary and all that good stuff. And Nail Gigi, if you're still here, I will probably go live tomorrow and I'm going to do the last bit of, the guy that was up in the attic with his testimony on the stand. So I'm going to probably do that tomorrow, like around the afternoon or something like that. Yeah, around the afternoon. So I want to close that one out and hear when he's on the stand. So hopefully everybody can come. But you know what, Mr. Cuba? Seem like you might be a creep. You please do trap. Oh, shoot. I really don't know much about that case. All right, Nail Gigi, can you email me or something like that? What would you like for me to show on that one? Give me some more feedback. Nail Gigi, are you free to talk for a second? If I put the link in, you can come up here because I'm going to end this and just stay on here and we could talk for a second, let me know. And we could just talk for a second about this the Travis guy. If you're free to get on, let me know and I'll put the link in and then wrap it up. Well, let me just put the link in now. If you are able to, you are able to. I got a few minutes here and I can talk. Let's talk about that one. Oh, awesome. All right. Here is the link. All right, here's the link so you can pop on and then you and I could talk about that one. All right, so you can tell me what to do on that one because I don't even know much about it. All right, that's my girl there. All right, everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging. Oh, what I want to say about this guy, seems like he's a creep. Too many women saying the same thing. And look at his face. His face looks like it's full of alcohol. You love that alcohol, don't you? Oh, you love it. It's all in your blood. Well, you probably can't drink right now. That's probably why you look like you need a drink. All right, but if anything else come up with this, sure, I will follow through with this one. Yes, I will. I have to link in it. Do you have to link now, Gigi? Just pop on. I'll wait a few minutes. I'm going to cut this off, but I'm going to wait a few minutes for you here. All right, so everybody have themselves a blessed one and a great one. Make sure you enjoy your weekend. Have yourself a good time and all that good stuff. And stay tuned for some more of Donna Just Being Real. And remember, date smart, not thirsty. All right, Nail Gigi, hit that link.